thanks for joining me, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Dude, I've been watching your YouTube channel, and that shit is funny. Where did you come up with that shit, man? Oh, listen, when the sun goes down in Africa, we drink wine, and only because we can't get fucking beer, because there's like prohibition going on and shit because of lockdown. So cheers, bro.
Oh my gosh, yeah, cheers to you. So it's 10 a.m. over here for those listening. I got a iced coffee going.
Listen,
No Baileys or anything.
No Bailey. Well, I watched that one with the lifestyle of a Lambo owner.
Yeah.
And that scene where he's like he has to meet up with normal people, and you like pour a shitload of vodka into the coffee. Like, I've been there, man. I know the pain. I know the pain.
So it's funny how, like, I don't know, it's funny how stuff happens, right? So we started the YouTube channel last spring, so it's been a little over a year, and it originally started as it was just going to be like professionally done videos. I think vlogging is stupid personally, but I know people enjoy watching it, and we've been asked to make a YouTube channel for a while, but I was like, I'm not going to vlog, like everyone does that. So until I can figure out a unique way, a better way to do it rather, I'm not going to do it. And so we started and we were doing, it was like professionally shot, it wasn't vlogging, and we were just doing like recaps on events and trying different things, just trying all these different styles of videos. And that Lamborghini owner one was actually in response to a lot of like hate I've gotten in the past from a small group of people, but they, like, for whatever reason, think I have a money tree, and like they think I'm that guy. And so I was like, all right, well, like, let's be that guy. And so I didn't even know, like, I'd never acted, I didn't know what I was doing or anything, but I was just like, I'm just gonna be like the richest douchebag I can be, because that's what these people think I'm gonna be, and I'm gonna like clap back basically. So
you are basically putting on camera how every guy when he wins the lottery wants to fucking act. Okay, yeah. Hands down. Okay, I'm a dick, like I'm a douchebag. But that shit is funny. I'm watching it and I'm like, I feel your pain. I'm not rich. I'm poor as fuck. Okay, I want to be that guy.
Well, that was what was awesome. Is it just like, I don't want to say it got rid of him, but I mean, honestly, like, I haven't thought about that until now. Looking back, we get a lot less of that hate because it's just like, well, what do we do now? He'll just make a joke about it. Like, anytime there's any kind of like serious hate like that, we've just turned it into like a skit or a parody video. And so, like, I feel like they're running out of stuff to do because they're just gonna make fun of it.
Dude, but at least you're turning it around and you're making it funny and you're making a joke about it, you know?
Yeah.
But okay, so let's get to the serious part of this whole thing. All right, so how do you'll pronounce it? It's Haugen, am I right? Haugen Racing.
Haugen Racing, yeah.
All right, so and I'm gonna put up the link so the guys can go check out the channel and stuff, because this shit is funny. But the cool stuff is the drifting stuff. Now we're gonna have to start in the beginning. Drifting. Where did you start, dude? Oh, sorry. By the way, guys, this is Matthew Haugen. By the way, he is the man behind the whole show, the YouTube channel, The Drifting. Welcome to South Africa, bro.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I've been to like East Africa, but I would love to come down to South Africa for sure. Definitely, totally different, and it sounds. Yeah. I've met some people from there, and it seems sick. So after this shit's over, I'll come down there and do something fun.
yeah, well, definitely. We're in for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, give us the background. Where are you from?
So I was born in the United States in Minnesota, up in the Midwest, and I didn't come from like a racing background or automotive family or any of that stuff. My family was, well, most of my family is just pretty normal people, I would say. My parents specifically, my mom's super well educated. My dad's not, but he was an entrepreneur. And they just, I don't know, like, they're awesome people, but they weren't into cars, right? And, you know, and like so I didn't come from that background. I mean, my dad is like, I'd explain him as like your average car enthusiast. And if this is interesting you guys at all, we did a video that really explains this, but I don't want to take like an hour explaining just this. But he's like your average car enthusiast. So when I was a baby, he had me in a stroller going to hot rod shows and stuff like that. So I was around it, right? But it wasn't like my dad was, swapping engines and racing on the weekends or anything like that. People think that when they first kind of meet us and stuff. Because me and my dad are best friends. He's my best buddy. So,
Nice.
but that passion just grew, like I was obsessed with Hot Wheels cars as a kid. I did Legos, like model cars, all that stuff, RC cars, right? And it just continues to.
Nice.
And then basically I got a Toyota Tundra as my first truck and was kind of off-roading that and having fun with that and started getting into like the lowrider and bag truck scene. And then I got a Genesis Coupe and started kind of tuning that up. And I'd watched like Fast and Furious. I'd never been around racing or anything like that, but I mean, I'd watched Fast and Furious. I was that guy. I was that guy. That's the thing that's funny. Like I wasn't watching old D1 videos and like I didn't know about like the culture and I wasn't like this hardcore drift fan. I mean, I didn't even know what Formula Drift was when I started, honestly. Like I guess maybe I'd recognize the logo, but I didn't watch it. I didn't know any of the drivers. And so long story short, we had built up the Genesis Coupe and we were doing this exercise. I went to this like fun race weekend. We're doing this exercise where we set up cones like 200 feet wide and you go around the circle faster and faster until you experience loss of traction, the rear wheels coming out, experience that oversteer, and you're supposed to recover it, right? And it was a road racing exercise, but I just stomped on the throttle and I drifted around the whole thing, and that was my first time drifting, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like, I guess my only experience my only experience was like Tokyo Drift, but I was like, this is too cool. And so then I kind of pursued racing and drifting just as a hobby for like maybe 6 months. I went to some racing school and I decided, you know what, drifting is for me. And then I just got obsessed. I was a competitive wakeboarder before this, and I sold my boat, stopped wakeboarding. Like I just went all in. And yeah, now we're here. So that's pretty much the short story. But
so where did the Lambo come into that?
So Lambo was, my dad had that from way back, and we went to the SEMA show, and I was like building some cars for SEMA and things like that, and Liberty Walk was there, and I was like, hey, you have to see these body kits. It was like the second year they went there. I think the first year they like failed and they were going to shut down the business, which is an interesting story. Kato's like a really good family friend of ours now, but it was year 2, I believe, and that's when people started buying body kits, and they had the Murcielago there, and so we checked it out. And this is another great story, but essentially, yeah, I mean, essentially, Kato noticed the relationship that my dad and I had, and he doesn't speak any English. Neither of us speak any Japanese, and there was this crazy like heart-to-heart we had with Kato, because he has a son that's similar to my age, and he's similar to my dad's age. He's younger than my dad, but there's a very similar relationship there, where they're both successful guys and they have sons that they love and just want to help succeed, and they're best friends. And he was like, they had already sold all 20 of the Murcielago kits. It's their like only super limited edition body kit. And he was like, I want to make you guys a 21st one-of-one kit. I'm going to make favorite wing and all these different things. I want to make it for you guys. And like, we had no plans of buying a damn body kit. But both of us were just blown away. My dad too, because like he was just like, I've never felt, it was such a special experience. We'd never felt like a connection so like hardcore with no spoken words. It was very, very, very cool.
Best sales pitch ever.
Yeah. Right? No, for real. And that's like, well, we thought about all that stuff, but no, I mean, so we ended up doing it. And I ended up buying the Lamborghini for my dad later down the road because he doesn't even drive it anymore, and we just use it all for ourselves. And yeah, that's like an extremely special car to me. They ended up flying me out to Tokyo Auto Salon, and I went to Kato's house, and like yeah, they've been really, really supportive and cool to us. Like it's unreal. Like I credit them, definitely with they're one of the people that really helped kind of put us on the map. They believed in us early on. I don't know why, but they did.
Dude, that thing is beautiful. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Um, and then the video when you said, I thought about buying a Ferrari or some other, what was it, Wankel or something type of car. I always have this argument with guys, and I'm like, if I had the money, I'd buy old Ferrari and the new Lambo. You know, they kind of the newer shape Lambo. They kind of go too well. The new Ferraris to me kind of lost it. And the old Ferraris were horrible. Like the Guntashes and stuff were horrible to drive. So there's like this middle piece between old and new, between the two. But that thing is absolutely, dude, that body kit just looks insane. Absolutely insane. That car looks so good. So now, how's the video stuff actually taking off? Because I mean, you've been doing a lot of videos on how to drift. I love that video, the one with how to drift with the auto. That was really interesting.
Oh, thank you.
What car are you guys driving there? Sorry, because I don't think we actually have that in South Africa. So you're gonna have to explain that.
What car are we driving in the Auto Trans?
Yeah.
That's a Lexus GS300, so it's American version of the Risto, which is the Japanese. It's Lexus 4-door sedan.
Okay.
Basically, so it was like a luxury.
You got a 2JZ in there, eh?
Yeah, it came with the NA 2JZ. So like a 2JZ GE or whatever it is. And we just have it NA automatic. We just wanted to see what we could do with it. That car is actually given us to us for free, just completely stock. And so then we put a roll cage in it and chopped the roof off, and an angle kit and a handbrake, and wanted to see what we could do, you know, like. And funny thing is, he told us, he's like, the diff is welded, and we didn't test it. We just believed him, and we're like, okay. Or not welded. He said there's like some like LSD in it. And we did a whole drift day on open diff, and we're just like shredding. Like, it was so fun. So I want to do that video soon, because everyone's like, oh, there's no way you can drift an open diff. Yes, it sucks, and I don't recommend it, but like, you can do it.
It doesn't say it's not possible. It's just it's challenging, but it's possible.
Yeah, basically. For sure. And like, I came back into the pits after doing a couple laps, and I was like, I don't think this diff is connected, but it's still fun. I was like, you can get them spinning once you get going sideways enough and all that.
And then what is your actual drift car? You've got the R32, am I right?
Yeah, so the R32 Skyline Coupe, that's our like practice car, demo car, backup car. And then we have a R34 Skyline. That's my pro car. So we built that for basically any competition series. We ran Formula Drift Pro 2 last year, and the car wasn't finished till like halfway through the year. So that was an absolute horrible rookie season. But we built that car for kind of any competition anywhere in the world. It's ready to go for anything. So we're just trying to figure out what we want to do next. You know,
but no, I mean, look, I watch you guys saying what there's no drifting at the moment, and what the one where you say you're getting arrested. So I take all competition, everything is stopped. Are they not even just doing the Formula Drift with no spectators or anything on that side?
No, they're trying to wait it out. I think the season's starting in like September. No. Gosh, I should know this. We've been so focused on YouTube right now. But they basically cram the whole season into the end of the year, and I believe they're going to try to have spectators. We had already made the decision at the start of this year. So I had another business. It's not super relevant to this, but I had another business in January that shut down, not due to COVID. That was in January.
Okay.
But that's what I was building to support all this stuff. and I basically had the decision. I was broke, and I basically had the decision to. My parents were like, "We'll help you support Haugen Racing for 12 months and give you a chance to do it if you want to." Or I was like, "I gotta get a job." So I was like, "All right, well, let's give it a shot." But that meant, saving money where we can, and Formula Drift doesn't, in my opinion, for our program, it doesn't really help us get to our end goal, which is having a large YouTube channel, large merchandise, and big partners, things like that. So we had already decided not to do competition this year. But yeah, they're trying to do it still, but I think it kind of worked out for us because I thought, people were going to say, talk crap about us not running it this year because we had a shitty season last year, but I don't know. It kind of worked out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Screw 'em. Like, I've worked with our local Super Drift series, and I know even the top guys struggle to get sponsorship and get behind them. And people have this idea that in the US, somehow once you hit and you can do like Formula Drift and stuff, you're made.
Yeah.
It's like money comes flying down. Everybody comes and hails down to your feet, and everyone starts throwing millions at you, and you're signing Nike deals, and and all this type of stuff. I take it that is not happening.
No, I mean, it's not and I like the thing is, we could run Formula Drift and get the whole thing paid for if I would just put Haugen Racing as a brand on the back burner. But I want to build something different, I would say more similar to like what Mad Mike or he has huge sponsors, but he still has like his
that individualism,
the center, right? And or Von Gittin, he's a good friend of mine, and his program is more similar to kind of what we're doing. And that program's tremendously hard to build, and especially hard to build from the start. See, like Von, at least with Von, he kind of started with getting sponsors and then bring his brand into it. But I'm trying to make Haugen Racing like the main brand the whole way through. And so it just makes it a lot harder. But it's cool because we have a tremendous amount of power and there's a lot of cool things we can do with it. Because we're basically just building a huge advertising firm for all these brand partners, And
exactly.
So, yeah, I think it will work. It's just a matter of time, but
it's amazing how you can't just now focus just on the racing. You have to think of everything. You have to think of the brand. You have to think of the merchandising. You have to think of the build, and everything that goes into it. That adds an enormous amount more pressure on top of the whole thing. You don't just have to worry about on Saturday we're racing. I got to win. It's everything that comes with that the whole time. I mean, that must be quite a bit on your shoulders.
Yeah, what's crazy is it almost feels like, and this, I didn't get a good experience at all competing professionally last year, but that's part of the reason why coming into this year I was like, I'm not going to do it this year because we have so much going on. But it's like it felt like those runs, the few runs that we were doing, were like the least important part of like the whole thing almost. And that should be like, you're there to race, that should be like the most important, most critical part. But it almost didn't, because all of their stuff, like you mentioned, that you're having to handle and figure out, and with us, we're just always like, we're trying to do too many things. Like if everything that you see that we do, there's two people. It's me and I have one employee. Yeah.
Don't worry. I run I'm the only hot rod magazine in South Africa. I run a TV show which I produce and put together called The Rod Shop. I run the podcast. I do car giveaways and everything. And it's me and my wife. And then we got like journalists and photographers across the country that freelance for us, but everything else. Oh yeah, I got a camera guy that shoots me, Daniel. I'll never forget him. But that's it. Everyone's freelance. Everything is just the two of us, dude. It's like if you ain't doing it, shit ain't getting done.
We just, I mean, like I I just don't have the money right now, you know? Like if I hired a third person, then we wouldn't be able to do this build we're doing, which I think is super critical for building the YouTube channel. So we'll get there. We'll get some help, but that's
So
where we're
tell
at.
me more about the shop, the actual Haugen Racing. What do you guys? I mean, besides for building, obviously supporting and building the drift car, you guys are actually doing other types of builds and stuff as well?
Just for ourselves, really. We don't just for we're a private shop. We've done a couple like small things on the side, and we're looking at like my friend wants to take his Lexus ISF and wide body it and bag it and put wheels on it. So we'll do that build because it's something we can cover on the YouTube channel. But it really is just my private shop and just to support everything we do. So, yeah, right now the big build is I don't know if you saw it, but our RB30 swapped long travel Tacoma.
I saw that.
So we're trying to break the internet with that. It's had good response so far. But yeah, just trying to do something different. We want to break into off-roading. Like I've always loved off-roading. That's actually what I did as a hobby first before racing or drifting. And I want to basically, take drifting and off-roading and smash them together because the guys are enjoying the same shit. They just don't realize it.
We look. I mean, I've spoken to like a bunch of the US car build guys and that type of stuff, and the off-road thing is really building. I mean, like Ford just brought up Bronco, the new Bronco, and that type of stuff, and that style, that nostalgia. I think this year at SEMA you're going to see a lot more of the off-roading stuff, because like the Broncos and the Blazers and stuff, especially the ones from the 70s and 80s, they're hitting that nostalgia like hot rod type of level at the moment, and we know a lot of guys are busy building them. So I think, as you guys saying, that mesh is happening now. If you combine that with the racing aspect as well, it makes sense, dude. It really does make sense. I think there's going to be a lot more off-road truck racing coming up over the next few years. Oh, excuse me. And then you've got guys like shows like Diesel Brothers and this type of stuff that's just fueling that off-road thing the whole time. Definitely, I think what you guys are doing is actually on the right path there.
Thanks. Yeah, we're stoked. So we had another build that I had already purchased a bunch of parts for and like all planned out, but it was another drift car, completely epic. But it was also like twice the budget of the Tacoma. And so, and looking at it, I was like, well, we can do another drift build and keep going more hardcore drifting, but we already have like some cool drift cars and we got a bunch of stuff going on in it. Or we could branch out and bring in, a whole new fan base and new friends and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it works out. We'll have to talk in like a year and see if it worked out.
We'll bring you back on the show and we'll do a recap on where it goes. But the off-road stuff makes sense because, I mean, look, I've had a few of my drifting buddies and stuff from South Africa on. I mean, drifting is not cheap. I mean, besides for the traveling, accommodation, the car building, and everything, I mean, the tire budgets are just phenomenal with the amount of tires and stuff you guys are going for. It is a stupidly expensive sport to actually get in, or motorsport to get into. Yeah. If you're hitting dirt road, you're not chewing tires and stuff as much as you're doing. I'm talking on correction here. I mean, you just correct me if I'm wrong.
No, to a point you're not. I would say very amateur off-roading versus very amateur drifting. Drifting is more expensive. You'll probably get some funny comments. People won't agree with that. But once you get into like more pro level stuff on both sides, I don't know what's more expensive. They're both really freaking expensive. Like, for example, we need all new crazy shocks, and it's the same shocks essentially. At least the rear is the same as what they would run on like a peak trophy truck because we're going to have 1,200 horsepower. The front, not quite as big, but for all, I was gonna be able to save 2 of my 8 shocks, but for 6 shocks essentially, with some of them have springs, some are bypasses. The quote was $16,000.
What?
Yeah.
Ah!
And I was like, my like triple adjustable remote reservoir field coilovers for the pro car, long travel as well. They're like, in my opinion, the sickest coilovers you can get for drifting a R34 Skyline. I think those retail at like $4,000 for the set or something, which is still expensive, but my God. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's more expensive, but off-roading is expensive too.
It's basically you just can't win.
Yeah. So we're going broke building this truck, but it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be fun.
We'll link up with the truck builds and all that type of stuff, so we can give you guys a good haul on that side. So what's next? What's next for the channel? I mean, I like the there's a little bit of comedy in it. I mean, there's the off-road stuff and there's the building stuff and there's the how to drift stuff in it. I mean, are you guys just like trying to you like throwing things around and you're trying to find your niche, your if you want to call your flavor more than anything else?
We just like, it's funny you said that, because like originally it was gonna be based around drifting, and kind of just like showing more background on Haugen Racing and myself, but like we have this super dedicated fan base on the how to drift videos. We've gotten our channel is not that big, but we've gotten a lot of feedback that people are saying like, I've used these videos and they've helped me significantly. So I really I enjoy teaching. I taught wakeboarding some in high school, and I don't think we'll ever stop doing the how to drift series. It gives me a lot just knowing that we're helping people, and it's super fun. And there's unlimited possibilities there. So we'll continue that. I don't see us ever stopping building cars. So I think we'll always have an ongoing build, and people love watching that. And then off-roading, I mean, we're gonna, once the truck's done, we're gonna have a bunch of content there. And then I fell in love with the automotive parody. Like, that's the term we're trying to coin. The skits. Like, I didn't know that I could act. I don't know if I can yet. I'm trying my best, but I really enjoy it. And I think that, honestly, that's, I think, our bread and butter for it to go like really big, because we have a viewer base. And the reason I know about this viewer base is because it's people I've met in person, but it's like friends from high school or distant family members or people in high school that I barely knew, but none of them are into cars, but they watch all our skits because they just think they're freaking funny. And so I think there's something there that's much bigger than just an automotive following. Now we're into just anybody who finds stuff funny. Is,
adding that comedy level. I mean, you look at the guys like Donut Media and this type of stuff. I mean, they just got that. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, like the guys from Donut, they car history and they made it entertaining at the same time. Just by adding some a comedy level to it. I think that's the biggest thing, especially with all the shit that's going on in the world at the moment. People just want to be entertained.
Yeah.
If you putting through that showing them how to do it, but you're adding a graphical aspect to it. It just makes sense and it will work if it makes sense.
For sure. It's funny what you said there, which may help you understand like the direction we're going. You said it's entertaining and people want to be entertained. In January, when my other business shut down, we made the decision to become an entertainment company. As a racing team, that's just one of the supporting things. We were a racing team. Now we're really entertainers, and we take that seriously. Everything we do revolves around entertaining, making people laugh, giving people ride-alongs, teaching people to drift, whatever it is. So that is the future of Haugen Racing YouTube channel, is just to be damn entertaining. Like, so we're just trying to build that,
Dude, so what's your prediction? So you guys are getting back to drifting, let's say tomorrow, next year you guys are back on. I mean, are you redoing your rookie year next year? You're in still as a rookie, if I'm not mistaken, in the Pro Series?
We wouldn't be a rookie because we had our rookie year, but
that's true.
I don't know if
I'm taking it like 2020 was just cancelled as a bad idea, and we just going again.
It should be. That should be the first thing getting canceled. I don't know. Honestly, I cannot see the future right now. Like, I'm just like kind of head down and just trying to work as hard and smart as I can on all this stuff. If we can we just signed with the Motorsport's agent like 3 weeks ago, which is really cool. So he's going to help us.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So seems like a really good guy, and he's going to help us, reach out and get like large partnerships. So if those are panning out, by this time next year, then for sure you'll see us competing. If we're still in the situation we're at now, where we're still just building, then probably not. Because I don't see the value there for what we're doing. Like everything we do revolves around building the YouTube channel. So
yeah.
But I want to get back to racing. So
I gotta ask this question. I mean, obviously this is the podcast. I mean, I run this thing on every social media thing possibly, and I run them on YouTube. And you've got like shitload more followers and stuff that we do. Everybody always has this idea that once you're generating enormous amount of income from it, and I always hear that's not always the case. I mean, I don't think people understand how much work goes into actually building a proper YouTube following.
Yeah.
Because you can get these companies and you can spend money and they can throw followers behind it and you can have it, but that's not, to me, that's not a real following. That's not the guys that engage. If I want to put it that way, that's just a number more than anything else.
Yeah.
I know I'm getting much deeper into the whole aspect of it. Where, I mean, guys like you're looking for that connection. You don't want just a follower that's just a guy that's gone and clicked. You want that guy that actually engaged and is a part of it, if I'm not mistaken.
No, 100%. Like I talk all the time. I'm like, I call Haugen Racing a community. Like I don't even really like calling people followers. Like I truly think they're all just part of our big community and our friends. And so, and supporters, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, like I just want to create a different kind of home for people that like our content and like each other and just want to do all that stuff. So, but you're spot on. I mean, it's, okay. The one thing I will say, I think if you have no ethics or morals or you're a hot chick, which taking anything away from hot chicks, there are a lot of ones that are also very smart. But if you have one of those things, you could build a YouTube channel fast and make a lot of money from it.
Yeah, just show, but it's an ass, and yeah, that's good to it. Yeah.
Yeah, or do stupid shit, for views. Like I think there's a lot of we see those guys out there, right? But I'm not willing to do any of that stuff, which I know hurts us. Not in the long run, though, but it hurts building us huge fast. But I think in the long run, we get to hold on to what is close to our home, So,
I did an interview with a guy called David Khan from Khan Media, and we were talking about influencers, and he's got one of the biggest motoring marketing companies in the country. I mean, he works at SEMA and all the brands. I mean, we work with him. And he was saying how important it is, to work with companies like yourself, influencers, but guys that really follow and work on a brand. And he actually said, you're not talking about a chick that's sitting, posing, holding a brake caliper in her hand, and then takes a photo, and then expects to get 25,000 views. It gets 25,000. No one's fucking looking at the brake caliper in her hand, okay? No one cares. No one noticed that there was a fucking brake caliper in there. Okay. But that's the thing. There's a difference that comes through between working with a brand like yourself that's really engaging, really looking to work with a product, and someone where it's a like system more than anything. It's like, oh god, they've posted another photo, click type of thing. And actual fact, if you look at Instagram, these girls that post half naked photos and stuff trying to promote the whole time, it's winter here. I see that shit and I just get cold. All right, so put some fucking clothes on.
I'm not even attracted to this. You just look cold. Like, do you need a sweatshirt?
Yeah, it's like you actually want to start a GoFundMe to get clothes through to them. It's like the supermodels that you just want to get a Big Mac to because they look hungry the whole time.
Funny. That's funny shit, dude. Oh fuck. Yeah.
So yeah, dude, listen, Matthew, I'm gonna keep you up. I know you're a busy guy, but I love the channel. I love what you guys are doing, and good luck for next year. And if everything starts this year, you're gonna get some screaming from our side as well. Great support.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate
if always tells us what type of brands and stuff you guys are looking for. We're always talking to people. Maybe we know some guys we can point your way as well. If you guys are looking from sponsorships perspective,
Always, man. Yeah.
Always good brands looking for new talent, new up and coming talent more than anything else. I like what you guys are doing at any rate. All right.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot, and thank you for having me on here. And let's catch up in like, I don't know, 6 months or a year or something, and do another podcast. See if this stuff worked.
If all goes well, I should get my ass through to your side for SEMA this year. That's if the world doesn't blow up or aliens take over. Fuck.
I mean, they're honest possibilities at this point. Like,
exactly.
There are actually things to consider that may happen.
Like 2 years ago, they would be drinking, talking and stuff. Now it's like, all right.
There's a chance.
There's a chance, The betting numbers are looking better, Listen, dude, thank you so much for the chat. It's been fun, man. All right.
Yeah.
Look after yourself.
Thank you. See ya.
Thanks, man. Cheers. Bye.